Breaking. North Korean strategic bomber violates South Korean airspace. Nuclear weapon confirmed on board. 8 million Seoul residents in immediate danger. This is not a drill. Kim Jong Un tests American resolve. South Korean F-35A fighters scramble. US Air Force F-22 Raptors joint intercept. Shoot-down decision pending. One mistake triggers nuclear war. This is Skyfront, where air wars break first. Radar contact established at 0207 Korean time. Large aircraft crossing DMZ, heading south. Speed subsonic. Altitude 35,000 feet. South Korean Air Operations Center identifies target immediately. North Korean B-1H strategic bomber. New design. First operational flight. Based on Soviet Tu-160 Blackjack. Kim's engineers reverse-engineered Russian technology. Nuclear delivery capable. Pyongyang announced capability 6 months ago. Nobody believed operational. Tonight proves otherwise. The bomber continues south. No radio response. IFF transponder silent. Intercept protocols activated. Osan Air Base launches 2 F-35A Lightning IIs. Scramble time 3 minutes. Pilots Lieutenant Kim Tae-hyun and Captain Park Ji-woo. Combat ready. Weapons hot. Rules of engagement clear. Visual identification required. Hostile intent confirmed. Presidential authorization needed before weapons release. The burden crushing. Seoul's fate depends on these decisions. American early warning systems track simultaneously. Space-based infrared satellites detect aircraft. RC-135 Rivet Joint Electronic Intelligence Aircraft Monitoring. E-3 Sentry AWACS providing battle space awareness. Data shared instantly with South Korean Command. U.S. Forces Korea placed on DEFCON 2 highest alert status. Kunsan Air Base scrambles F-22A Raptors. 2 aircraft airborne. Major Sarah Mitchell commands. 27 combat missions. Iraq, Syria, now Korea. Most dangerous yet. Nuclear weapons change everything. Training never covers this scenario. Real-time decisions required. Protocol inadequate. Human judgment critical. Most dangerous threat in this crisis situation? A. Nuclear bomber. B. Potential miscalculation. C. Response time pressure. Comment now. The B-1H bomber represents North Korea's technological achievement. Estimated development cost $2 billion. Chinese assistance suspected. Russian components confirmed. Indigenous modifications extensive. Variable sweep wings copied from Tu-160. Engines likely Ukrainian D-30KP turbofans. Avionics mixture of Chinese and domestic systems. Nuclear weapons bay modified from Russian designs. Estimated payload 6,000 kilograms. Sufficient for multiple warheads. Intelligence reports suggest 3 nuclear bombs aboard tonight. Each yields estimated 100 kilotons. Hiroshima was 15 kilotons. The mathematics terrifying. South Korean F-35As achieved visual contact at 0214. Distance 5 kilometers. Positive identification confirmed. B-1H bomber verified. Wings swept back. Bomb bay doors closed. But nuclear weapons definitely present. Radiation detection equipment aboard F-35A registers elevated readings. Confirmation transmitted to command. Presidential Blue House notified immediately. President Yoon Suk-yeol awakened. Emergency cabinet convenes. Military options presented. Shoot down and risk nuclear detonation. Allow penetration and accept humiliation. Negotiate and appear weak. Every choice catastrophic. Meanwhile, bomber continues. Current position 40 kilometers north of Seoul. Flight path direct toward capital. Time to city center 8 minutes. Population density extreme. Subway system packed even at night. High-rise buildings everywhere. Nuclear detonation casualties estimated 3 million immediate. Radiation fallout affects 8 million total. the unthinkable becomes probable. American F-22 Raptors join formation. 4 fighters now escorting bomber. Visual signals attempted. Wing rock. Warning shots discussed. But bomber maintains course. Speed steady. Altitude constant. No evasive action. No communication. The silence ominous. Kim Jong Un's intentions unclear. Suicide mission? Provocation? Accident? Nobody knows. North Korean command structure opaque. Decision-making centralized. Kim personally controls strategic forces. This bomber flies on his orders. But what orders exactly? Skyfront analysis indicates the fundamental crisis created by nuclear-armed strategic bombers involves compressed decision timelines, where political leaders must authorize lethal force against aircraft, potentially carrying weapons of mass destruction while operating with incomplete intelligence about adversary intentions, crew status, and weapon arming conditions, creating scenarios where shooting down the aircraft risks nuclear detonation while allowing continued penetration guarantees delivery capability over population centers. Wait, new development. Chinese military hotline activated. Beijing contacts Washington and Seoul simultaneously. Message urgent. China demands restraint. Threatens intervention if bomber destroyed. Claims aircraft on navigation error. Technical malfunction reported. North Korea losing control. Crew attempting return. The Chinese explanation dubious, but provides diplomatic cover. Decision complexity increases. Shoot down bomber and anger China. Risk broader war. Economic consequences. Regional stability. Alternatives explored desperately. South Korean president confers with American counterpart. Secure video call established. Discussion heated. Americans advocate shoot-down. Accept risks. Prevent penetration. South Koreans hesitate. Seoul vulnerable. Millions at stake. Miscalculation unacceptable. The Allies disagree. Unity fractures under pressure. Japanese government monitors closely. Prime Minister convenes National Security Council. Self-defense forces placed on alert. Patriot PAC-3 batteries activated. Aegis destroyers positioned for intercept. Tokyo potentially threatened. North Korean bombers' range includes all Japan. The crisis regional, not lateral. Consequences affect millions. Bomber approaches Seoul city limits. Distance 30 kilometers. Time remaining 6 minutes. F-35A pilots request weapons authorization. AIM-120. AMRAAM missiles ready. Radar lock achieved. Fire solution optimal. Presidential approval awaited. Blue House debates frantically. Military advisors recommend engagement. Intelligence officials uncertain. Foreign ministry opposes action. The government paralyzed. Indecision reigns. What is the estimated nuclear yield of North Korean weapons aboard this bomber? A. 50 kilotons. B. 100 kilotons. C. 200 kilotons. American F-22 pilots grow impatient. Major Mitchell contacts command. Requests autonomous authorization. Permission denied. Political decision required. Operational commanders cannot act independently. Nuclear weapons involved. Presidents must decide. But presidents hesitate. The crisis intensifies. North Korean bomber begins descent. Altitude decreasing. 30,000 feet, 28,000. Rate of descent gradual. Intentional maneuver. Attack profile potentially. Bomb run commencing possibly. Or landing approach elsewhere. Ambiguity paralyzes response. Seoul Air Base positioned along flight path. Commercial airport nearby. Multiple explanations plausible. But assumption of hostile intent prudent. Fighter pilots tense. Fingers near triggers. Waiting for authorization. Training overrides instinct. Discipline holds, barely. Does this North Korean provocation justify immediate shootdown? Comment Y or N. Intelligence analysis updates continuously. CIA confirms bomber departed Yangju Air Base. Flight plan filed domestically. Destination listed as Wonsan, Eastern Coast. Current heading completely wrong. Navigation error possible, but unlikely. GPS jamming reported earlier. Electronic warfare active. Intentional disruption probable. North Korea creating confusion deliberately. Plausible deniability established. The strategy sophisticated. Russian advisors suspected. Tactical deception their specialty. South Korean Air Force commander makes recommendation. Shoot down bomber immediately. Risk acceptable compared to nuclear detonation over Seoul. Transfer responsibility to Blue House. President must decide. Constitutional authority clear. Military executes. Politicians authorize. The system designed this way. But tonight's system fails. President cannot decide. Paralyzed by magnitude. Advisors offering contradictory counsel. Minutes evaporating. Bomber descending. Distance shrinking. The window closing. American president intervenes. Direct call to counterpart. Conversation brief. Message clear. Shoot it down. Now. US accepts responsibility. Provides political cover. South Korea executes. America absorbs consequences. Alliance tested. Partnership proven. Authorization granted. South Korean F-35A pilot Lieutenant Kim receives clearance. Fox 3 callout. AIM-120D AMRAAM released. Missile accelerates. Active radar seeker guides. Closure rate Mach 4. Time to impact 18 seconds. The die cast. No recall possible. Commitment absolute. North Korean bomber crew detects launch. Defensive systems activate. Chaff deployed. Flares fired. Electronic jamming initiated. But sophisticated missile undeceived. Advanced guidance maintains lock. Proximity fuse armed. Warhead prepared. Impact imminent. AMRAAM detonates 15 meters from bomber fuselage. Fragmentation warhead explodes. Shrapnel penetrates aircraft skin. Engines damaged. Hydraulics severed. Control surfaces fail. The bomber doomed, but nuclear weapon status unknown. Detonation possible. Altitude 22,000 feet. Location 20 kilometers north of Seoul. Bomber enters uncontrolled descent. Crew attempts ejection. Parachutes deploy. 4 crew members exit. 3 remain aboard. The aircraft spirals. Rotation increasing. Altitude decreasing. Impact inevitable. Ground zero calculation frantic. Trajectory tracked. Landing zone predicted. Rural area possible but uncertain. The bomber falls. 16,000 feet, 12,000, 8,000. Rotation violent. Structural breakup begins. Wings separate. Fuselage cracks. Debris scatters. Nuclear weapons potentially released. Freefall commenced. No detonation yet. Altitude 4,000 feet. Impact 20 seconds. Population evacuations impossible. Warning sirens wailing. People sheltered desperately. Subway stations flooded. Buildings evacuated partially. Panic spreads. Traffic gridlocked. The city holds its breath. Skyfront tactical analysis reveals that shooting down nuclear-armed aircraft creates secondary risks, including uncontrolled weapon impact, potential detonation from crash forces, and radioactive material dispersal even without nuclear yield, making the decision to engage such targets among the most consequential choices military and political leaders face, where all options carry catastrophic potential and success, defined merely as avoiding worst-case scenarios rather than achieving positive outcomes. Bomber impacts mountainous area, Yangju region, 70 kilometers north of Seoul. Remote location. Population sparse. Explosion massive, aviation fuel ignites. Secondary blasts follow. But nuclear detonation absent. Weapons did not arm. Safety mechanisms function. Pyongyang designed fail-safe systems. Kim wanted provocation, not suicide. The revelation stunning. Crash sites secured rapidly. South Korean special forces deployed. Radiation teams activated. Nuclear weapons located. 3 devices confirmed. Intact. Unarmed. Safeties engaged. The crisis ends, but implications just beginning. International reaction instantaneous. United Nations Security Council convenes. Emergency session. North Korea condemned. Sanctions proposed. Russia vetoes. China abstains. Nothing changes. Pyongyang issues statement. Blames technical malfunction. Claims peaceful intentions. Demands compensation for destroyed aircraft. Typical North Korean behavior. Provoke, then deny. Escalate, then negotiate. Extort, then compromise. The pattern established. South Korea debates response options. Military retaliation considered. Airstrikes on North Korean bases. Missile strikes on nuclear facilities. But escalation risks too high. Diplomatic pressure preferred. Economic sanctions tightened. International isolation increased. The response measured. If you follow real nuclear crisis, aerial warfare, type Skyfront. American military maintains alert status. B-52 bombers deployed to Guam. Additional F-22 fighters sent to Korea. Carrier strike group repositions. Message clear. Aggression has consequences. Deterrence reinforced. Capability demonstrated. Resolve proven. The alliance strengthened. Japanese government protests vigorously. Demands North Korean accountability. Increases defense spending. Accelerates military modernization. Constitutional revision debated. Pacifism questioned. The regional security environment shifts. China remains silent initially. Eventually issues bland statement, calls for calm, urges restraint, offers mediation, but provides no pressure on Pyongyang. The usual Chinese approach: stabilize, don't solve, manage, don't resolve, status quo preferred. What happens next in this Korean Peninsula crisis? Comment predictions. North Korean intentions analyzed exhaustively. Intelligence agencies examined evidence. Bomber wreckage studied. Crew interrogated. Flight recorders recovered. Data reveals intentional provocation. Navigation equipment functional. Flight path deliberate. Crew briefed on mission. Kim testing boundaries. Probing responses. Measuring resolve. Classic authoritarian behavior. The B-1H bomber program continues despite loss. North Korea possesses estimated 6 additional aircraft. Nuclear weapons production ongoing. Miniaturization improving. Delivery systems diversifying. The threat grows. Deterrence requires constant vigilance. South Korean Air Force enhances readiness. F-35A fleet expands. Additional aircraft ordered. Pilot training intensified. Rules of engagement clarified. Presidential authorization streamlined. Next crisis response faster. Lessons learned implemented. The military adapts. American extended deterrence commitment reaffirmed. Nuclear umbrella credible. Conventional forces forward deployed. Intelligence sharing enhanced. Joint exercises increased. Alliance ironclad. The security guarantee solid. Regional stability depends on American presence. Withdrawal unthinkable. Consequences catastrophic. The tactical quiz answer: B. 100 kilotons is the estimated yield of North Korean nuclear weapons aboard the bomber. Based on intelligence assessments of their weapons development program progression, plutonium enrichment capabilities, and miniaturization achievements, though actual yields remain uncertain given testing limitations and technological variability in indigenous weapons design and production quality. 3 critical questions answered. Will air attacks continue? North Korean provocations guaranteed. Kim requires external threats. Regime legitimacy depends on crisis. Military provocations ensure relevance. International attention demanded. Resources extracted through extortion. The pattern perpetual. Future incidents certain. Severity unpredictable. Nuclear weapons complicate everything. Each crisis potentially catastrophic. Miscalculation risks enormous. Deterrence essential but fragile. Who holds air superiority? South Korea and America dominate completely. Technological advantage overwhelming. Training superiority massive. Operational capability unmatched. North Korea cannot compete conventionally. Nuclear weapons compensate for weakness. Asymmetric strategy employed. Quality versus quantity irrelevant. One nuclear bomb changes everything. Air superiority meaningless against weapons of mass destruction. The strategic calculus transformed. What happens next? Diplomatic efforts restart. 6-party talks proposed. China mediates reluctantly. North Korea demands concessions. Sanctions relief sought. Economic assistance requested. Nuclear program bargaining chip. Negotiations drag endlessly. Temporary agreements reached, eventually violated. Cycle repeats indefinitely. Meanwhile, military readiness maintained. Alliance strengthened. Capabilities enhanced. Deterrence reinforced. The Korean Peninsula remains flashpoint. Nuclear crisis perpetual. Stability illusion. War possible. Peace improbable. This is Skyfront. Real air combat. Real consequences. Real nuclear nightmares. The North Korean nuclear bomber crisis demonstrates how authoritarian regimes leverage weapons of mass destruction to challenge conventional military superiority, creating scenarios where technological advantages become irrelevant and political decision-making occurs under impossible time pressure with catastrophic consequences for any choice made. Subscribe to Skyfront, where air wars break first, when nuclear weapons fly, when presidents decide life or death, when 8 million people await their fate. We break it first. Skyfront provides the aerial warfare intelligence that matters most when strategic decisions determine survival and deterrence prevents annihilation.